Hi guys and welcome to Bob Anime.
It's your girl Ruka.
And Big Boy Summer here bring you a hot or not of the girl from the other side.
Creativity. Okay, so this one is surrounding around something known as a curse, but we don't know if it is actually a curse or not. And it's contagious. It makes you forget about your human self if you were a human. It stops you from sleeping or feeling anything, and it basically erodes your soul. And it's transferred via touch. So if you have been afflicted with this and you touch another person, they will also become the same way.
So basically it's herpes.
Oh my god.
But the supernatural version. But it's not just that, because we don't know what kind of curses there are. If there's multiples, there are hybrids. The visualization in this whole mini movie was great, but somehow didn't tell you as much as you should have and kept you going down the hole. It was basically somehow some people turned into trees, somehow some people turned into black beings. Some of them were animals and something under the water. It was brilliant.
Entertainment. The suspense and the half information that you get is really interesting. You're constantly wanting to know more, but you also know that they're not going to give it to you. It's basically a massive tease. They tell you bits of information and they just trickle it all the way through, but you don't get your happy ending.
Are you okay, Ruka? Are you alright? Yeah, so I was entertained thoroughly throughout the whole thing because, yes, as I said, it's like you're going down this rabbit hole, and literally the music, the visualization, the different types of imagery, the blurred images all added to the visceral feeling of this, and you were like going through the roller coaster this whole time trying to figure out what was going on. Shiva was trying to tell Sensei something the whole time, and we all realized what it was about halfway through. I even called out that people were turning into trees. I didn't mean to. I said the most outlandish thing I could think of, and it happened. And I was like, oh, okay. Entertainment, yeah, all the way through.
Character development. So I'm just going to talk about unnamed Sensei. So he's obsessed with saving Shiva. He doesn't want her to have to experience what he has had to experience, basically forgetting everything about himself. But he also holds on to the fact that he is nothing like the other creatures that are in this outside world, and he also thinks that he's so much better than all of the rest of them because he doesn't pass on the curse to other people. So I found his character really interesting. He somehow manages to hold this kind of superiority above the other people that he's basically the same as, and some of the other creatures also alluded to the fact that he knew information that he was saying that he didn't know. So that tells me that his character is probably very much in denial about exactly what he is and what his purpose is and what is going on. And I think that's relatable because a lot of people can also do that in their real lives. You kind of just in denial, but you're not ready to accept whatever the truth is yet. And he's probably going to have to accept it by the end of this thing.
And Shiva, oh my gosh, how do you see that terrible being and just be like, okay, I'm gonna stay the night here, it's fine. Okay, I'm gonna follow you 2 days, it's fine. I'm 6, but I'm walking for 2 days straight, it's okay. Like, come on, there was something going on there. Shiva already knew what she was because she kept trying to say it, fam. So obviously, Sensei None knew exactly what was going on here. Everyone knew, it's just that it was basically written in such a way to give you the pseudo comfortability of an elder and I guess their charge. But the horror of it was that there were no secrets. That's what I got from it anyways. And the characterization fits that and fits so many other sort of scenarios that you can think of. This is the kind of anime that you can come up with so many different theories because they tell you so little but just enough.
World building. There's an inside and an outside. The beings are classed as outsiders, and inside is where the humans live. But some of the humans also live on this outside area, and they need to get permission from the king to actually move to the area where all of the humans are. That by itself rang so many alarm bells for me about the way that this world works. It seems very odd that you have to wait for permission from the king to separate yourself from these contagious beings that take your soul. It made me feel like there's so many things going on behind the scenes and none of the humans are paying attention because they're just trying to survive. So they're never going to figure out all of these sinister things that are going on behind the scenes. The world was really strange and it has a lot of secrets that you can just tell are lurking beneath the surface that we don't know about yet.
Yeah, so the POVs that we were given were through Shiva and Sensei No Name, and because of that, it gave a lot of artistic license to withhold information, to allude to information, to give you the sense that there was a lot of abstract concepts happening in the background, going underwater, and the imagery of that, the representation of souls, the representation of curses, the representation of holding on, the representation that no matter how different you are, you're still the same to a different set of people. There's so much here, and it's the kind of world and environment that can only come through, give you a limited point of view. That's how they decided to do their world building, and I ain't mad at it.
Plot execution. So with this we actually had a changing plot. So at first, unnamed sensei wanted to save Shiva. He wanted to send her back to the humans, either take her to a human village that was on the outside or somehow get her back to the inside to where her family members were. Once he realized that Shiva couldn't really do that because she also has some form of the curse, he decided that he wanted to try to save her soul. So he took her to the mother, and we were never told who mother was, but we're guessing that she is the mother of all of these creatures. Anyway, he took her to her and basically was willing to give himself in exchange for her to have her soul back, which the mother figure did seem like she granted, but Shiva refused. So it's interesting. It's very interesting.
Yeah, to the verdict, Kodruka smashed it.
Creativity, hot or not?
Absolutely hot. I'm sorry, it is so hot. Look, this is not an anime where you're going for the plot. This is not an anime where you're trying to, understand the motivations of characters. This is the anime you experience. This wasn't watching anime, this was feeling anime to me. And for that, it's a hot.
I have to agree with you. That's a really great description of what this anime is like to watch. I would also give it a hot. Entertainment, hot or not?
I was thoroughly entertained. Even the annoyances of having someone so young with someone so old doing a journey together and realizing that there were little tidbits. Look, at the very beginning, what did Sensei say about Shiva when he saw her wrapped around in that blanket? So clean. It's not up until the end of it I realized, oh my god, he knew she was cursed from then. Because you don't describe a human as so clean. You described someone that is cursed, that is all black outside, as so clean when you know they're cursed. That was the beginning of me realizing that, oh my god, he's actually in denial. And if you actually play it back in your mind, you realize that, oh my god, that's when he realized. When she looked at the fire and she felt like she could touch it. When she didn't scream and look at the gash in her leg. All of that stuff. There's so many, entertained, hot.
I was also entertained. I found the whole thing very entertaining, so it seems like I like a little bit of a good tease because not knowing all of the information didn't actually hinder it for me. Hot.
You're right.
Character development, hot or not?
I thought it was beautiful that they used these two's point of views in order to make sure that we got the snippet of the world and the snippet of the characters that they were. You understood the love that he had for her, even though it was completely unfounded. There was no real motivation for him to feel that much for this new human being / demon creature cursed being. And their attachment made zero sense in terms of motivation, but everything, as I said, this is not an anime you watch, guys. This is an anime you feel. You felt every single bit of the attachment that these two had. And I'm glad they took it in this direction. Even the abstract figures that were taking them to mother, their whole being there as the sort of shadow creatures, all knowing fates of the situation. Everything screamed cosmic horror to me, and they played their part perfectly. And when he said, take me to mother, and they were like, yeah, sure. It was like welcoming home a brother.
character development was really hot. I felt as if he was basically trying to help himself. It felt like him wanting to save Shiva was more about him wanting to save himself and more about him actually mourning the life that he left behind, not being able to even remember what his face looked like or what his voice sounded like, you know, not really remembering his life, only knowing that he had a wife and child, but not really remembering anything about it. I think that it was more about himself than her. And with Shiva, I think she was just really, really scared. It seemed in the beginning that there were a group of people standing around her and chanting, and I thought that maybe she had been sacrificed to the outsiders. That's the kind of vibe that I got. She seemed to be very alone even on that side of things, and she really just wanted someone that was going to stay with her. She just had that child want to be looked after and cared for and not be alone. You know, the dark is scary. Although she didn't seem to respond that much to the dark, she did respond when she realized he was going to leave her alone. It makes me feel that maybe in her life, when she was at home, maybe she was left alone a lot. Maybe her family didn't really care for her all that much. So I really felt like these characters really belonged together in that sense, and I think they really brought that across in their telling of the story without even telling us all of that kind of deep information. World building.
For me, this is also a hot look. The feelings that you get through some of the movements of the imagery on the screen is the feelings that you get from some activities that some people do. It was an altered consciousness. Thank you, Ruka. I like that. It felt like feeling an altered consciousness. Definitely a hot for me in terms of the world building, because the whole world shifted between the physical and the metaphysical, the natural and the supernatural, and the movement of the vines every time that they moved along with them, as if nature was trying to cuddle them. Nameless Sensei was not a being that would cling to his newfound purpose or his newfound nature, and he was holding on to his past.
Okay, while Big Boy Sama books himself onto his first AA meeting, I'll just go into my thoughts on world building. You sort out that altered consciousness, I'll get right back to the anime. Okay, yeah, world building is a hot for me. I think that they did a really good job. They made it seem really big, as if we won't be able to discover it in the next couple of episodes. This is a 3-parter anime. Each episode's an hour each. I don't think we're going to get to the end of the world in that time because it just seems so massive. Plot execution, hot or not?
It's a not for me, because yes, they had goals, yes, they had movement, yes, it all flowed, yes, you kind of knew what was going on, but because you didn't know so much of what was going on, I couldn't fully grasp the concepts on the first run through. I'm pretty sure I would grasp them if I kept rewatching it over and over again, but because it's hot or not, based on the first episode, based on the first viewing, there were certain things that I feel like I just haven't gotten yet.
This one is a hot for me. I did not have an altered consciousness when I watched it, so therefore I could see the plot.
What the what the
Okay, no, scratch that. No, okay, I'm gonna give it a hot because I already described it, I already explained myself. This one's a hot as well, so there you have it. Big Boy Sam has gone for 4 out of 5 hots, and I have gone for 5 out of 5 hots, so I'm sure you can tell from that we think that this one is definitely worth the watch based off of its first episode.
If you made it this far, we really, really appreciate you.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.
Peace.